Hey, what's up? We're back with Metta World Peace. This is my third Fireside chat, and this is a one-on-one discussion because I really wanted to inform a lot of people that are sports enthusiasts, athletes that want to get into business and anything surrounding sports. And I wanted to discuss the importance on the relationship between a business opportunity, whether that's an individual or group, and the fans. And I have a special guest with a former team that I worked for, the Rockets. Can you introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. Super excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I love these fireside chats. I'm glued in every episode, so I'm happy to be here. I'm Jennifer Harris. I am currently the CRM manager for the Houston Rockets. So I've been here for about 3 years, and I'm just hoping that the season doesn't get cut short.
I know. I love basketball, and especially since I've retired, I've been way more of a fan. When I was a player, I was so much more competitive, and now that I'm retired, it's kind of killing me. But hopefully, they get back soon. Hopefully, they
Yeah,
get back soon.
yeah, for sure.
So, can you give people a little bit of background? As we spoke earlier, your background is very interesting, and I know this is a broken record, but our communities, we don't have a lot of people in tech and in different things to make people's lives easier or to make their business run easy and smooth. Can you give people a little background on yourself and how you got to where you're at?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so first I'll explain, I guess, what I do, and then I'll travel backwards. So, what I really do is twofold. So, the first part of that, which is managing the system that holds our customer data so that internally our ticketing and corporate teams, they know how and when they need to reach out to their fans at any given moment. So, that's one part of it. And then the second part of it is the marketing part of my job, which is managing our marketing automation operations so that, really, I oversee the automation of how we reach our fans through marketing tools and data analysis and strategy. So I'm a connector of our revenue teams and marketing and figuring out how we can engage more with our fans. So also what we call our role is customer engagement or fan engagement. Let's see, my background's in psychology. That's what I graduated at NIU from. Has
Wow.
absolutely nothing to do with what I do now. What I do now is very technical, analytical. Yeah.
And then for people that don't really know the acronym, NIU stands for.
Oh, yeah. Northern Illinois University. I'm
Yeah,
a Chicago girl.
absolutely. So what is NIU known for?
Yeah.
Obviously, yes,
They're known for nursing and they're known for their business school.
and business school. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a great experience.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, originally I thought that I wanted to be a clinical psychologist and go down that road.
Right.
Sometimes I think maybe I want to do that, but I'm really happy where I am, where I ended up. So I would say I first got a job working at Groupon right out of college,
Wow.
and that's where I first was introduced to a CRM system, or was Salesforce.
Right.
And so really it was a new role back then. And that was what, 2011. And so I was thinking, hey, I kind of like what I'm doing here. This is very interesting. I've never heard of a job like this before. So I did some more research and learned that companies out in the Bay Area were looking for people to manage their systems full time. And that's how I ended up just bouncing around from startup to startup managing CRM systems.
Oh, that's amazing. So it's not a lot of people, especially from our communities, that are involved in Salesforce, CRMs, or even other CRM. I know Pipedrive is another good one. To get started, you can also just start simply on Google Sheets, or if you don't really have the capital to pay a recurring monthly fee, one of these systems, right? But so it's really interesting to not just from our communities, Black or African American communities, just anyone that's trying to get in business in general. and working way too hard. And you discovered that through automation, it'll help the business grow easier, more efficiently. Can you speak on that and kind of elaborate on how you are attracted to CRM systems, and then what do you like about Salesforce? And I got so many more questions after that.
Wait. I can't remember the first question.
Okay.
Okay, so I would say to your first question about, how businesses can use Salesforce or any CRM for that matter to start speeding up their process. So you spoke about you could start with Google Sheets or Excel or something like that. All of us CRM, we cringe because really a CRM system, it holds all of your customer data, right? So any phone call you make, you want to put that into the system. Then you have any sale you make, you want to put that in the system. So then you can use that information, and Salesforce has the ability to, once you put that information in the system, like unlike using Google Sheets or Excel, once you have that information in the system, you can easily look at reports, and then you have a dashboard or something that you can use to start saying, hey, actually, I noticed that I haven't talked to one of my customers in a really long time. I need to touch base because maybe they need to renew their product or something like that. So, I mean, that's just one way, but that really does automate, speed things up, and helps you stay on top of your game every day.
Right. So in terms of the Salesforce, you are running Salesforce with how many people?
It's just me.
It's just you. So
Yeah, rocket.
That's a really big organization for one person to be running Salesforce. So typically people would say, don't use Salesforce if you don't have a Salesforce team, right? If you don't have a sales team. So, I mean, can you explain how you're using it, and that might give some people some encouragement, because I believe Salesforce is a really necessary product.
Yeah, it's tough. Every day is busy for me.
I can
But I
imagine.
would say if you have to use I would call it a lean team or a very small team to manage your system, I recommend automating things as soon as you can, or finding out efficiencies in your day so that maximizes your time and so that you can focus on other tasks. And that's my biggest piece of advice that I can say, because you can get caught up in doing tedious things. And if you don't start automating, and that's the beauty of Salesforce, because you can create what they call workflows or processes to start streamlining the things that you want to follow up with or keep track of. So I would say do that. And then also the other thing, if you have a really small team, is that there's a lot of people that are looking to transition to roles that they can do from home, and that you're looking for new skills. And all the training online for Salesforce is free. And once they do that and they get their certifications, they have no experience. So people like me who are looking to hire, we're like, okay, it's great. You got a certification, you went through this training, but you have no experience. So I recommend for the people that need to have a lean team, look to hire some of those people who are looking for experience, even on intern basis. And sometimes that's what I do to help me out.
And then, so since you're running Salesforce, by yourself for now, and if you did hire someone, what would you have them do? Would you have them relieve you of some work to make your time make it easier for you? Or would you have them do, something else to further develop the relationship, with the fans and the company?
I would say if I were to hire someone right now, which I would love to, in a perfect world, I would have them relieve me of some of the tasks that I do now, so I can start strategizing on, and some of the stuff we talked about before, but marketing automation, because I feel like even though, yes, the other parts of Salesforce are really important internally for our own teams, but in the world of sports, marketing is everything. Fans want to hear from us. We have to do it in a very smart way. And I feel like that's where now I would need to put my efforts.
Right, right. I could definitely understand that. So do you consider Instagram a CRM?
No,
No, you don't consider it a CRM? You-
no.
So if the Rockets, so if an NBA team or players, they have a profile
Yes.
and the fans are following them. So do you put a lot of value on those fans versus the
Here's-
direct connection you have, whether it's email marketing and, you considering, Salesforce is a CRM and versus what I'm saying is Instagram potentially being a CRM. What's your take on that?
Not at all a CRM.
Okay.
So a CRM is where you have records of information. So you have, customer fan profiles where you can say, okay, we'll say it's me. This is Jennifer Harris.
Right.
This is my account. And Jennifer Harris this is her favorite basketball team. She went to this many games and here's her contact info. Okay. With Instagram, we want to capture people from Instagram and have that as a source, or we consider those people prospects
Right.
or someone that we can sell to. So it wouldn't be a CRM. It is social media is truly valuable. Instagram is valuable, but when you post things on Instagram, you want to make sure you have a call to action to drive someone to somewhere where you can capture their information that eventually that would link or integrate into your CRM system. And with Instagram, you can't do that.
So what about your website? The company that you work for, their website. Does the website have any CRM capabilities where it's tracking information, or you won't even consider that? And should they have CRM capabilities?
Yes, definitely. Website is great. That's if you're on Instagram and so say for instance, we can take the Rockets for example. Okay. Say for instance, we have a newsletter that we send out. So hey, on Instagram we post this we can say it's 10 greatest moments of James Harden for this past season.
Right.
Sign up on our newsletter to get more stuff, to see more stuff like this. Well, we want them, from Instagram, that post, the person then goes to the link in the Rockets profile, clicks on that website, opens up the page to say first name, enter your information, first name, last name, email, sign up for the newsletter. Then that would link to our marketing side of CRM. So then they now have a record in our system, and now we can target emails to them. But without that connection, you can't do that. So websites are definitely a great place, or what I call a landing page, for people to go and then sign up and connect our systems. But you actually do have to integrate that into your CRM.
Or then you integrate it into CRM. So is it easier for a Salesforce to integrate into websites versus LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because social media doesn't really have that capability. So
right.
it's even if you were to look on, I don't know, but you really would want to have on your social media site, you need to have somewhere where you can send a customer to a list or a website where they can then be entered into your CRM system. Yeah, because it doesn't do that.
And so how does it work with the merchandising? Where do you come into play with merchandising and fans just going crazy about athletes' jerseys and different things like that?
Yeah, for sure. So on the merchandising side, or retail side, we track all that information as well. So we have our Rocket shop. Right. And so, we have a website. So if we post anything like that online, people go to the shop, and then we can track, at least I can track that information. I can see who's buying, who's not, who has stuff sitting in their cart for checkout. And then we can start targeting marketing emails to that person. So it's really, I call it a life cycle.
And I think it's really interesting because you see all the athletes getting involved in a variety of different things, in their side businesses, not the endorsements that they have, but more the businesses that they start. And athletes typically don't hire the right people in the beginning stages, of their career. And you'll be surprised, an athlete would give, a typical athlete like where I'm from, in my neighborhood, Queensbridge Projects, urban community, I'll hire one of my boys rather than hire someone to run my CRM, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's way more efficient to hire someone to do that, right, than to hire someone to just be on your side, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting how a professional team runs their business versus an athlete. And the athlete is pretty much a mini corporation, because once you're getting $1 million a year or $10 million a year or $20 million a year, you're basically a corporation, right? So you should be having the right team. So typically athletes don't have CRMs, and it's something that I'm really trying to push. Also, it's people in your situation that's not involved in sports that have the expertise in these automated solutions, but they don't have the confidence to really work with athletes. They think they are not in the sports business, and I tell them all the time, you add so much value to an athlete, right? You add so much value to an athlete, and probably for a cheaper price than what they're paying their boys. Maybe,
Look, I don't know. That is interesting, but
it's definitely it's debatable.
yeah, more than likely. Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up. And I see a lot of that online, and I don't know how to, and I could just tell by, the communication that goes out, because in my opinion, if you're not like the LeBrons, if you're, if you're not one of those people, I feel like your stardom can only take you so far. And why not elevate that with the systems to help you take your business to the next level? It's really interesting to me, but I mean, I don't fault them for it, because they just don't know.
Of course, I agree. And the reason I like to speak so openly about a variety of topics, and this topic is really dear to my heart, because I was a math major in college, but I was struggling between education and then trying to make it out of my neighborhood, right? So although I was an architect major first, and then I turned to math, but I didn't take it as serious. One of the things that drew me back to anything online, digital, was I played basketball. I was a star at one time. I love to be creative. So when I put all that together, how do you become successful, with my math background, with my creativity background, and then my huge MBA career, it led me to trying to find solutions for athletes, to become successful in their startups and in their businesses. And you're right, being a star is not enough. It's not going to get you over the hump. Having these automated solutions where you're way more efficient with your time, and you can actually make better decisions. Should I get involved in this business? Should I market to this demographic? And you can actually see the stats. What do you think about that?
Exactly. No, you're speaking my language. Yeah, but that's 100% true. And I mean, I know you see it because you work with athletes every day. Right. I'm much more on the team side of things, but it functions in the same way. So before I got into working for sports, I worked for all the industries were different. But it's just about learning the business, and then you can basically shape or do this, create the CRM system however you need to. But totally agree. That's why you have CRM systems, so you can make better decisions. But I guess my question would be, how involved are, at least the athletes that you've seen or worked with, how involved are they in their companies?
Well, if you're a top level athlete and you have a Gatorade deal and a Nike deal, State Farm, you're not as inclined to, put in more, to put in the day-to-day work with your own businesses, I think, because you're getting so much action, with the exception of if you get a really good startup with a really good team and they offer you equity or something like that, right? And those are the opportunities that come with being a big superstar. Now, if you're not a huge superstar, if you didn't get lucky and land, with some new founder, you're gonna most likely try to start your own company.
Yeah.
You're gonna most likely try to, continue. And if you didn't make the big dollars, then you're gonna be way more involved. So it's more of those than the top 1% or the top 4 to 5% high level athletes. I was one of the athletes where I was all star and I did all those things, but with me, I never ever got over the hump in terms of salary wise, due to my history. So I'm a mid level or mid tier athlete, right?
Mhm.
So I'm still looking like for opportunities. I'm still looking for solutions, trying to figure things out, right? So then I noticed that it was a lot of athletes like myself, and I started to go down this journey. I would say this is 2020, so maybe 2014. And so I'm always trying to find solutions for athletes and give information. The NBA is doing a great job with the symposiums. The MBPA is doing a great job with the symposiums. It's been really exciting. I haven't been as involved, but I still see from afar.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. So,
Yeah.
what other interesting businesses out there do you see opportunity for athletes, to automate it, to make things easier, to get involved in? Whereas typically athletes get involved in, on average, not every athlete, just on average, they get involved on what's hot, like music and making movies and things that you can't really gather enough data for. What do you see? What are some interesting opportunities you see for athletes?
That's a good question. I would say that aside from the typical things that we do see, I really would like to see athletes, and I know that a lot are doing this right now, and it's hard, but they actually have the capital to do it, which would be apps. I really want to see more athletes getting involved on that side. And I also do think too that on the technology front, that's great. But then also there's another part of technology, VR. I'm super interested in that.
Right.
I see a lot of potential, but
What,
not that many people are actually in the industry and doing things with it. And shoot, if I knew exactly what to create, I would have done it already.
of course.
But yeah, I do see a lot of potential there.
So where do you see VR falling into, athletes' life, athletes' business, and how do you think it could affect, what they're doing in business?
Yeah. And I think it depends on what they do.
Hmm.
I think it depends on the type of business that they have. But if they do have, like a lot of athletes, they're much more into social
Right.
now than ever before, especially now with everything going on with Corona and that stuff. I think it's really going to skyrocket. But I think with that, they can start incorporating elements of VR. And that's a different group of people who are interested in VR to start driving people to their other businesses or whatever they're doing. But just incorporating another element within their business would help them get more customers.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted to say, thank you for all your knowledge, and I think the discussion that we had today, I think it'll go viral because there's a lot of athletes that are trying to figure out ways, to have a relationship, and marketing is such a marked up price. Where if you don't have anything automated, you're always hiring, which is eating into your budget. And we're always trying to find solutions for athletes where they can save money and spend more efficiently. And so we hope that hopefully the athletes they see this, and then also we're hoping that people that are involved in automated solutions don't be afraid to reach out to athletes and plead your case on how you can help that athlete. Athletes are getting involved in a variety of things, from merchandising to beverages, food and beverage, to apps. And the more solutions we can give them, to be more efficient, I think the better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If anyone needs any CRM help, hit me up. Let me know.
Absolutely. And shout out to the Rockets. Shout out to Daryl. I want to give a shout out to all you guys over there and girls. I had a great time in Houston. So this is a real treat to actually have a fireside chat with someone that's with the Rockets.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. This was great.
Thank you so much.
We should definitely do it again.
I would love to.
Yeah. Wait, let me think. We need a name. I don't know, Corona chats, Corona combos with Metta and Jen. Who knows?
Yeah, actually, yeah. We should actually have a side. When I have just a basic, it says Fireside Chat #1 on my YouTube. I'm just posting it up on YouTube. But yeah, I didn't actually put any thought behind the title. Sometimes that can get a little time consuming. Start thinking about a show,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
But this is like way more. I just think it's super valuable information.
Yeah, same. Same.
Absolutely. But thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me. Thank you for connecting.